This is the HentaiHappy podcast.
It is man-made. Brotherhood.
HentaiHappy's Sukebe Salad, You Tosser, News Locomotive 2021, Apollo Legend, the person who reported on Billy Mitchell's alleged cheating has passed away for reasons unknown. It seems that being bankrupt along with being picked on by other YouTubers lended to his demise. However, I can tell that, it's not just the feeling of being bankrupt and being picked on. If there's somebody in your vicinity that needs to be talked to, reach out not only with a text or, a video chat. Go over to his place and spend some time with him, Let him know that you want to be with him, because I think that recent inventions such as technology are taking away from the initiative of what humans are, and humans are social beings. So by not going out to visit Apollo Legend, I think some people cemented his death. Yeah. So guys, don't say, hey, I sent somebody a message, or hey, I called them just to check up. Do that, and also go over to their place, regardless of how reluctant they are to see you. Some people like this who suffer mental illness aren't very forward with things. They think that they're not valuable to anybody. And, just sending a text or talking on the phone won't give them the impression that they're valuable. Go over to their house, check up on them, talk to them, Sit down with them, spend some time with them, show them that you care, give them a present, Sending a text and talking on the phone, these are inventions of the turn of the century or centuries. But, what you really need to do is you really need to go down there and give them some reassurance, okay? I feel bad for that guy. I've heard of his name in passing. I haven't really looked at his videos. I think I saw one video in regards to Billy Mitchell and the Donkey Kong scandal thing, but that was it. All right, so my impressions on the Belle Delphine first adult video. Well, the bear at the start was a welcomed addition because it fits her character as being a wonky anime-ish Sukebe anime thing chick. I think it needs some wonky sound effects, right? And I think the direction of the hentai, what she was trying to do, was a bit strange. It wasn't in order, okay? So she started with the back door, right? And I think the back door should be like the cherry on top for things, right? It's not something you do immediately. I mean, it's her porn video, but I think she needs better direction. She needs a better director. I like the fact that, I saw a video of the bear watching herself getting effed. That was interesting. That was a good prologue. That was a good introduction to the video. But then she started directly with the cherry on top thing. And, I think she should have left the back door for later. And, I think she had everything fine. Everything was fine in that video. It's just the sequence of events shouldn't have happened in that way. And, she should have played up the fact that she's an anime Sukebe hentai girl, too. She should have added, like, some wonky sound effects and, like, text font, like zing, bazoing, or zingo, whatever, to add more to the flair. After the introduction sequence with the bear checking out the thing on the whatever, it kind of got lame, and she should have played that up. She should have played up her character. I know she could have done it because there was glimpses of her doing a good job, And another thing too, I don't want to throw shade at her boyfriend, but man, just shave everything. You don't need to keep any hair on there. You got your girl. She's clean shaven. She's everything, and you're the contrast, right? I mean, if you had more muscle and you were a barbarian and you were taking her down, I can understand. But considering the fact that you don't have, if you're not a Neanderthal, you don't play the Neanderthal role of graping her and stuff like that, and you don't got the muscle mass to portray that. You just shave everything so you can match her, right? You can be gentle and soft like her because you are definitely not in the macho Duke Nukem archetype of characters that are just gonna bang her. You don't have enough muscle mass to be that grapist, right? So what you need to do is you need to shave everything so you can match your character's softness. I mean, you can match your girlfriend's softness. That's what I had to say. I'm saying that it was a good video. It was just the fact that things weren't in order, and there was little things that you could have done better to make it go from like what I think is a 7 to a 9, right? She could have definitely made it a 9 had she implemented the few little things that I talked about, right? And her boyfriend, if he had been more hulking, it would have been a better sequence. But because he wasn't hulking, just shave the extra hair. You don't need it, man. You don't need it. Okay, so next up we got the Lucasfilm employee trashes Star Wars theory, cried when Luke appeared intact in full CGI. Okay, so The Mandalorian, I thought it was a really good show. I thought it would hover between a 7 and 8, depending on each episode. And, some people, they got hot and heavy when Luke appeared. Star Wars Theory let out some tears. I mean, it's not strange. Like, I cry every time. I'm going to admit this to you guys. I cry every time Liam Neeson's character dies. I just don't know why, but I think it's just the direction of the movie, just the build up and whatever, makes me cry every time Qui-Gon Jinn hits the bucket. Okay? I'm not going to lie about that. And if Star Wars Theory, he loves Luke Skywalker, if he loves that character, of course, he's going to cry when he sees him reappear after 40 years of, being trashed left and right, right? So the problem here was you had Pablo Hidalgo, an employee from Lucasfilm, make fun of Star Wars Theory. He's like, emotions are not for sharing, right? And then after he gets some criticism, he blocks his Twitter so people can't access it, and he makes it private. And then, he pretends that he's sorry or something, and then he puts it at his banner, puts the emotions are not for sharing as his banner. After that, many people complained, and then he made a tweet where he's like, "Oh, I was just being sarcastic, and it was something directed inwards, right? But not before deriding a girl who applied to Lucasfilm several months back, 8 months back or something. Her name was Miss Goldsmith, and they made fun of her because she was autist, and he said Pablo Hidalgo said she didn't fit in with the crowd at Lucasfilm. And then Pablo Hidalgo goes around and says he was being sarcastic, and he doesn't know how to use sarcasm. Like, oh, I was being sarcastic inwards. How were you being sarcastic inwards? And then you put it as your wallpaper. How is that sarcasm inwards? How is that directed towards you? I think Pablo Hidalgo, I think you are perhaps the autistic one. I think you should, verify yourself if you fit onto the spectrum, because it doesn't make sense what you're alluding to, right? So, anyways, Lucasfilm then contacts Star Wars Theory, and they ask if he's okay, and whatever. And that would have been a perfect opportunity for Star Wars Theory to talk about the ghost writers who aren't getting paid for their contributions to Lucasfilm or LucasArts several decades ago. That would have been a perfect opportunity. I don't know what he's going to do with that email, but I hope he responds and he talks about the employee that's currently dying of a bad disease, a very terrible disease that I don't wish upon anybody. I want, something to be done about that. It's horrible. The man should be paid royalties, especially now considering that he's on the edge, and his wife is also suffering from something terrible as well. Anyways, then Mark Hamill says kind words to George Filoni and Jon Favreau. So we know where Mark Hamill stands on this certain situation. His Twitter is usually littered with politics and whatever not. But I'm glad that he's on the road to salvation right now, if that's what I can say. Okay, in other news, we have, social justice warriors going against Nintendo and a studio that's called Top Hat Studios. Basically, Top Hat Studios tipped the hat to a Twitter social justice warrior with a milady in regards to a Cyberpunk Ghost Story. So a disheveled old lady tweets, "What's wrong with you, Nintendo?" Obviously, jealous of the cute anime chicks in the game Cyberpunk Ghost Story. Whatever. And Top Hat Studios says that her claims and the claims of other people that are revolting against this video game are liars, and they just put their foot down on that, and they're like, we're not going to censor it. Good luck, basically, is the gist of things. And, they were very cordial about it. They didn't attack her, and, they did a good job. That's how everybody should be, I think. Sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us, but I think we should take a cordial stance to this and then let other people see that these social justice warriors are the ones who are exaggerating with their reactions. Okay, and then after that, we have the most beautiful woman in the world, the supposed most beautiful woman in the world. So there was this girl that was voted by a magazine as the most beautiful woman in the world, as per It's a Gundam. And we saw the Twitter thread. We saw how things were happening. Some accused the magazine of being racist because it was a white woman. Obviously, when you're trying to get the title of most beautiful woman in the world, it depends on your looks, honey. And if you don't got it, you don't got it. It doesn't matter what race you are. Okay, if you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Okay, so I saw the picture of the girl. I have no complaints whatsoever at all. She's serving in the military, so she loves her country. And she's got her looks. She's 19. Her eyebrows, could use a bit of tweezing, but I think 2020's trending moda is the thick eyebrows, which I don't get. If a girl has thicker eyebrows than me, I think there's a problem with that, right? I'm not nitty-picky. I'm just saying, come on, tweeze them. Anyways, so after that, you had older ladies in the Twitter threads saying that the girl is a baby, or that she is not a real woman because she's only 19, and because we're showing this picture, because the news article, the newspaper is showing that picture, they're grooming pedophiles. So obviously this goes back to my previous videos of older women being jealous of younger women. They can't stand it when younger women, rightfully so, get the attention of men. Obviously, through evolution, it's always been the fact that if there's a younger woman out there, she can provide you with more fertility, more opportunity for children, and her beauty will last longer than an older woman. This is true. But the thing is, the powers that be want to push an old lady upon you, so you won't be able to make as many babies. You'll get married later on in life, and you won't be able to support that many babies. So that's the truth, guys. So, but this magazine, did something against the trend. They put a beautiful 19-year-old woman with her whole life ahead of her, right? She can get married now. I think it would be a prime opportunity to get married now instead of later. But she's serving in the military, so we don't know if she's going to be there tomorrow. But I mean, it's amazing that she's putting her life on the line. She's protecting her country, and she's making that sacrifice, right? Right? But the other women are accusing her of not being a real woman. Okay, listen, hun. They went and did a survey at the University of Toronto a few years ago, and they surveyed the women there if they would give their lives for their country and join the army. 98% of correspondents said no. Only 2% said yes. Okay. I know it's a university workplace. I mean, well, not workplace, but a university, environment. And obviously they're going to say no because they're already in university. But that just goes to show they asked them this format of question: would you give your life and serve in the military? 98% of those girls going to university said no. This girl, this beautiful woman, I would call her a woman, but I don't know what the word woman entails, so I'm just going to call her girl because she's fine, feminine, and she's full of energy, she's vibrant. That's what I consider a girl. A woman, I think nowadays the term, it coincides with working woman, a woman who wants to be on par with a man, and you can even see man is in the word of woman. So it just doesn't ring well with me. I think girl is the highlight of the word. Anyways, this girl, she's beautiful and she's got it all going. So people are saying, that she's too young. She can't be beautiful. And then, some crazy ass women. As Minister Japp says, the German Shepherds. One German Shepherd comes out with her Twitter picture. It's a shaved head woman with bleached blonde hair or orange hair. I can't tell. She's huge. She's massive. And she calls herself beautiful. There's a big problem with that. It's just insane. There's the ego problem that It's a Gundam was talking about is spot on, hardcore. These women cannot see beauty in others, but they can see beauty in themselves because of the platitudes they say to themselves. I'm worth it. Maybelline, it's worth it, as TFM, Turd Flinging Monkey, says. There's many things that I agree with in Turd Flinging Monkey's words. Some things I don't agree with. Many things that, anyways. I think that it's worth it. I'm worth it. The Maybelline because you're worth it thing. Oh my God, that rings true to every woman out there. I think, about 99.9% of all women out there are superficial. And, it just shows with the reactions that they're giving to that beautiful girl out there. God, you have no life. And all you're going to do is just sit around and toss it up with that girl. Come on, guys. Come on. If you were so beautiful, okay, you would be out there giving your life for your country. Oh, wrecked. Okay. Next topic. There we go. A Twitch girl. I can't believe I'm saying this. Yes. A Twitch girl. I want to call her a woman. I'm going to call her a woman. Twitch woman called Sydney claimed that men aren't shit. So she tweeted, "Men ain't shit." But I think the true meaning to this is, you ain't shit, Sydney. You ain't shit. You ain't shit, motherfucking bitch. You are shit. You are a shit stain on the side of my shoe. I scrape you along the sidewalk because I don't want you on my shoe, bitch. That's what you are. Anyways, she said that, but then she gladly accepts the 33090 NVIDIA GPU cards that she got from her male fan, and he also gave her a PS5 Blu-ray version. And this is on Twitch, right? Where they say they respect everybody and you can't say stuff bad and whatever. These are the new rules. But she attacks men and Twitch doesn't do anything about it. And they say they don't stand for sexism and whatnot. But she is literally attacking 50% of the population of the world. And then Twitch doesn't do anything about it. They only do something about it if you are harassing the female species, right? The female species. Okay, yeah, let's talk about HentaiHappy's slice of life. So, it's been a fun few weeks over here. Not very restful, but a very fun few weeks. So I was watching Nick Rekieta's Skyrim stream, listening to the typical Nick voice that I don't really mind at all. But once again, the house was depleted of food, snacks, and alcohol. So I decided to go what I thought would be a quickie to my local grocer. Unfortunately, as soon as I exited the door, several feet of snow awaited me in the driveway, making it very difficult to exit without sinking into the snow. So, armed with a shovel, I decided to move the snow because there was no actual place to dump white, flaky garbage. It seems to me that seems to be a problem for even the city. There's so much snow that even the local government doesn't even know where to keep it. So, instead, they actually dump it onto your lawn. Basically, they clean up the streets, create snowbanks in front of everybody's driveway, and then they dump all the excess snow onto your lawn. You can't fight this because, municipal rules, and there's like 12 to 14 feet of snow on either side of your driveway while you're there trying to make a little pass so you can exit and get your groceries. And hope there isn't an avalanche, because then, you're not going to be able to get out of it. So I go down the block, and then I see the old couple. They have about 24 feet of snow, which is insane. But the old man is just there making that small, tiny path. Most Japanese people are perfectionists to various aspects of life, so even the old withered ones do their best. So when the snowstorm suddenly hit on Christmas Eve, we were still in the plus Celsius. It never stopped snowing. We weren't going to have a white Christmas, and I was fine with that. I didn't want to shovel any snow. We got 6 feet of snow in one night, and it started to freeze up here in the mountains. By that time, I wake up at 5, 6 in the morning, have breakfast, prepare the Christmas roast. For the evening while watching YouTube videos, I notice some dynamic white flakes going crazy behind the curtains. And to my surprise, there's a white flare when I look outside. I was completely blinded. I couldn't see anything when I looked outside. And that was my eyes adjusting to the pure white that I saw. The sad part is I had guests coming, so I had to shovel the snow. I go outside, make a very wide path, make sure nobody's going to slip on the porch, clear the ice, because, with a sudden temperature change, it was a +5 or +6 the day prior, and then after that it went to 0, and then -4, -5, -6, whatever, -7. And I clear this out, and then I see my neighbors. The neighbors cleared their whole front yard from snow. Their driveway, everything. Being a long-term resident here, I know that if we got this much snow today, tomorrow will bring at least 4 feet of snow. I'm not going to copy them. They're Japanese. They always do things to the extreme, right? They're always very extreme with everything they do. If they're going to do pottery, it's going to be overboard. If they're going to do chocolate, sweets, and whatever, they're going to go overboard. If they're going to do muffins, they're going to go overboard. They're going to make everything to perfection. They're going to make square watermelons. That's how the Japanese are, right? Sure enough, the next day, there's a ton of snow again. They didn't go overboard with everything this time. And then the city came and brought upon us the great equalizer, where they dumped snow on everybody's front yard, so the old neighbors' efforts were for naught. Just the day prior, they had shoveled everything, and then they saw, more snow. Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm an old man, right? So, that was a long tangent. But anyways, I exited the front door only to see the marvel on either side, and the hallway, which I used to get out of my property, snowed in. So I grab the shovel and get out. As I'm walking in the street, it's the day after New Year's Eve, and there's like 2 to 2.5 feet of snow on the roads, so it made commuting anywhere lengthy. After 15 minutes of dredging in the snow, I make it to the grocer, though it's closed. So I go to investigate a little bit. I go in, and I realize that the pipes burst in the store, and they had a caution slippery sign of a stick figure slipping, right, and flying in midair. This isn't the first time it's happened. This is the second year it happened consecutively. The fuckers are too cheap to turn on the heat, so it's cheaper for them to repair the pipes. So I guess it was true. I got a tip from a very in-the-know person that they just rely on the insurance because they are huge massive grocery chain, and they don't care about the insurance. However, they do care about the electricity, since it's more expensive to pay electricity to heat the pipes than it is to just do an insurance claim every year. The more you know. As a matter of fact, my pipes were actually going to burst this year as it suddenly became freezing of severe winds. On New Year's Eve, 40 minutes before the scheduled broadcast I had for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I myself was defreezing the pipes with a blow dryer, a tiny space heater, and a gas-powered lighter. If I hadn't discovered those pipes, damn, it would have been very costly to get them repaired. So now I'm just going around the house turning on every faucet at every interval as it's very freezing outside. It's colder than usual around these parts. So yeah, that's what happened with me. And, it's a very tiring New Year, It's like I started up my computer and, I pressed ClownWorld.exe and then I pressed continue. That's what it is. This is it. It's a clown world, guys. It's a clown world after all. It's a clown world after all.
This is the HentaiHappy Podcast.
Brotherhood.